A very good morning to one and all. Very nice to see you through this online platform. Uh, I'm going to handle you two topics. One is the macromolecule and spectroscopy in this semester. Now let us begin with the macromolecule, which is a very interesting topic. Macromolecules can otherwise be called as polymers. So macromolecular science or polymer science. So this topic has got kinetics, mechanism of polymerization reaction, polymerization techniques, molecular weight determination. So we have three compartments. So before we get into the syllabus, let us see some basics or refresh some of the basics which I have already studied in the undergraduate level. Because it is very essential for you to understand the fundamentals before you get into the syllabus. What are macromolecules and what is the usage or application in day-to-day life? Macromolecules are nothing but big molecule. The term macro stands for big things, molecule. So it's a science of big molecules, or you can also call it as a giant molecule. Okay. Polymer, in other words, poly means many and mer means units. So together you can call this as many units. So this polymeric material has made a great revolution in the field of material science. It has replaced the metals in the present century, mainly because of its advantages like lightweight and corrosion-free nature. You can see every material which you use in day-to-day life, starting from the toothbrush and to a bed, you right from the time you wake up and till you go to the bed, you will find a lot of polymeric materials we are using in day-to-day life. So this polymeric material which are used in domestic applications or commodity applications, they are called commodity plastics. Polymers can also be used in industries because polymers have got different characteristics from low mechanical strength to extremely very high mechanical strength. So materials which are very high strength and which possess high thermal stability, which can be used in industrial field. So those plastics are called or polymers are called industrial plastics. Polymeric science is not something which is very new. It is million years old material. Even before the creation of human beings, plants existed on the planet. And the plants which consist of cellulosic plant stem, which is made up of a cellulosic material, is nothing but a plastic. A silkworm which produces, which is nothing but another kind of plastics. Animal hair and animal skin, they are also natural polymers. Okay, and these materials is known to human beings for a very, very long time. But what we speak about the synthetic polymers or artificial polymers are known to the human beings only in the 15th century. The two peoples, one discoverer called Christopher Columbus, who invented this bouncing nature of rubber, bouncing rubber in the South America, and then the other scientist is called Joseph Priestley, who named this as a rubber, because this material could erase or rub away the pencil marks. So hence he called it as a rubber material. And slowly this material has developed into a very useful material in every field of human life. Now, this is a very brief introduction about the origin of the polymer. Now, let us define a macromolecule or a polymer, and then let us understand certain terminologies involved in macromolecule. Okay. Macromolecule, as I told you, is a big molecule or giant molecule which are formed from small units called monomers. Okay, polymer is formed from small unit called monomer. Monomer means, mono means single, mer means unit. So single unit to many units. Okay, the process of conversion of monomers into polymer is called polymerization reaction, or monomer into polymer is called a macromolecule. Okay. Now let us see what is a monomer, or what is the difference between a polymer and a normal single molecule. Single molecules are small molecule. For example, you take methane, carbon dioxide, sodium chloride. Okay, they are available in single, but when you take it in bulk, okay, the single molecules are compressed into a big size, where you can see the crystal or you can see the material. Okay, but polymeric molecules, they are made by chains, long chains, which are altogether one single chain formed from a single molecule. I will give you an example. See, this methane is a simple molecule, you know very well, and sodium chloride. Okay, and when they are present in the bulk, this will be they will be present together, okay, as simple units. Okay, but the difference between the single molecule and big molecule, macromolecule is, say for example, this is ethylene. This can be called as a monomer, and this, upon polymerization, you get several units of ethylene. Okay, so if I take 3 units of ethylene, the 3 units are arranged in 3 segments. Okay, so methane is a simple molecule, ethylene is a simple molecule, but polyethylene is a polymeric molecule. So the term, or the word poly before this molecule signifies it is a macromolecule or a polymer. Okay. Now, so for a polymer to be formed, the substance should possess monomers. Okay, you must know what is meant by repeating units. Okay, and then degree of polymerization. Okay, these terms should be known before we get into the topic. Monomer, as you know, the single unit for the macromolecule. And what is meant by repeating units? Okay, suppose we have 3 units of monomer which are repeatedly arranged to get a chain. So there are 3 repeating units in the polymer. Okay, and degree of polymerization is nothing but the molecular weight of polymer divided by the molecular weight of the monomer. So which can give you a single unit of polymer. So say for example in ethylene, this is a repeating unit in this is n molecules of ethylene undergo polymerization to give you polyethylene, and this single unit which does not possess a double bond is called a repeating unit. Okay. Then not all the molecules can give you a polymer, or not all the molecules will undergo polymerization reaction. Okay, what is the condition for a substance to be a monomer, or what is the condition for a substance to react and to give you a polymer? Okay, the a repeating unit or a monomer should possess reactive sites or functional sites. The functional site which undergoes the polymerization reaction. Okay, so you consider a single man and a human chain. In a human chain, you will find a lot of people standing in row, extending both hands. So if you extend your both hands, then only you can form a chain with your neighbor. Okay. Similarly, a monomeric molecule should possess reactive sites, minimum of two reactive sites. Just like your hands, you should have two reactive sites. One to extend your hand with the person in the left hand side, another to extend your hand in the person in the right hand side. Similarly, a molecule, if it possesses two functional sites, then only it can form a chain. Okay. So in the case of ethylene, the double bond is a reactive site. The double bond is a reactive site. This breaks into two electrons, and each electron can form a bond with this and this two. Okay, so the functional site of ethylene is naturally 2. Okay. Similarly, some functional group like hydroxy functional group, amino functional group, amine functional group can also act as a functional sites. Okay. Now I will tell you how to classify the polymers. Polymers are classified by many ways. Okay. One is based on the origin. Okay. Number 2, based on the arrangement of molecules or monomers, and number 3, based on the composition and number 4, based on thermal characteristics. First one is based on the origin. So based on the origin, polymers can be classified into natural polymer and artificial polymers. Natural one and artificial or synthetic. Polymers which are available in nature, which are produced in the nature, is called natural polymers. For example, cotton, cellulose, silk fiber, animal skin, proteins. Naturally, all the proteins are they are polymers of amino acids, polypeptides. popularly called as polypeptides. Human hair is nothing but a protein which is formed by repeated linkage of amino acids. Okay, you can call it as a keratin. So these are natural polymers which have been helpful to human beings for a very long centuries. You can even say your skin is made up of the protein, and which helps you to protect from the climate and other conditions. Artificial polymers, which are derived from artificial sources or synthetic sources, mainly they are called petro-based polymers. For most of the polymer, the petroleum raw materials have been used as a source. Hence, it is called artificial or petro-based polymers. For example, polyethylene, polybutylene, polymethyl methacrylate, polyacrylates. They are all artificial or synthetic polymers. And second classification is based on the arrangement of monomers. Okay, they can be classified into homopolymers or copolymers. Homopolymers are made up of one single monomeric unit throughout the chain. If a polymer consists of one single monomeric unit throughout the chain, it is called a homopolymer. If a polymer consists of more than one monomeric unit, it is called a copolymer. The word co means partner, okay, made up of two, interaction between the two. We call it as a co. We use the term co-worker, colleague, okay. So like homo means single polymer which consists of same monomeric unit throughout the chain. Copolymer consists of more than one monomeric unit called copolymer. Okay. Similarly, you have some more classifications like based on the arrangement of chains. They are linear polymers, cross-linked polymers. Based on the arrangement of chains in the backbone chains, it can be called a homopolymer or heterochain polymer. Okay. So which you will be seeing it in detail when we teach the subject. Okay. Third one is based on the composition. Okay, based on the backbone. If backbone is made up of carbon throughout the carbon, it is called a organic polymer. Okay. If the backbone is made other than carbon, it is called an inorganic polymer. If the backbone chain is made up of carbon, say for example ethylene, propylene, butylene, polyethylene, polypropylene, polybutylene, where the backbone, what is meant by a backbone? The basic chain or fundamental chain in the polymeric species is called a backbone. Say for example in polyethylene, you have hydrogen like this, carbon like this, okay, and this chain, basic chain, we call it as a backbone. Why we call it as a backbone? Because the backbone gives strength to a man. Okay, if the man doesn't have a courage, we used to call him, he doesn't have a backbone. Okay, because the backbone gives a strength to the human being. So that is for all polymers, this the central chain. Okay, it's called a backbone. This actually gives the strength to the polymer. Gives them it's a basic cause for mechanical properties of all the polymers. Okay, so if this backbone is made up of carbon, then it is called a organic polymer. If this material is other than carbon, like silicon, okay, if it is made of silica, it is called a inorganic polymer. Glass materials are is nothing but a polymer. They are called inorganic polymer, which has got silica in its center. Okay, hydroxyl or hydrogens on through the sides. Okay, so this is the third classification, and fourth classification is called based on the thermal characteristics of a polymer. Okay, this characterization is very important because it is upon usage we call polymers as thermoplastic polymer and thermosetting. So these two classification based on the thermal response. Okay, one is thermoplastic polymer, another is the thermosetting polymer. What is the definition or the difference between the two, thermoplastic and thermosetting polymer? Thermoplastic polymers are moldable polymers and remoldable polymers. So once it is on applying heat, they can be made into a desired shape. Okay. After a certain lifetime, after certain usage, the same material can be reshaped by reheating. Okay. Say for example, you have a comb or a plastic mug or a jar, and which is obtained by hot pressing by applying the heat. Okay. And once it is used for some long time, this material can be recycled, okay, by reheating the comb or a mug or a jar, which can be given enormous heat. So at high temperature, this plastic melts and then it gets it can be reshaped. So the plastics which can be reshaped upon reheating is called a thermoplastic polymers. I hope you have understood this term. And number two is the thermosetting polymer. Okay, the polymers which cannot be reshaped upon reheating. The polymers which cannot be reshaped on reheating is called a thermosetting polymer. Okay, the plastics used in the switchboards is a very good example, right? Because they are once it is made into the particular shape, the shape doesn't change upon reheating. Okay, it never melts. But if you apply extreme temperature, high temperature, instead of melting, it undergoes charring. Okay, so those kind of plastic materials are called thermosetting plastics. Okay, so both the plastics have got its own advantages. Thermoplastic materials are the recyclable material which can be reshaped into any form at any time, whereas thermosetting plastics which cannot be reshaped, but at the same time it has high heat resistance. So hence it can be used in utensils, cooker handles, and electric switches where you need to apply heat. Okay, but the material remains the same upon heat. Okay, so based on the properties, we can use it in different fields. So polymers is a growing field. It has got very vast dimension, and it has got a great scope in the research. You not only we have two classification like domestic or commodity plastics or high performance plastics. You can be used in medicine field also. They are called medical polymers for medical field. Okay, so nowadays you have the artificial heart valves which are made up of polyurethane material. Okay, contact lenses which are made up of acrylates. Similarly, you have polymers for drug delivery of great use to nowadays, and these polymers can be used in the along with the drugs so that it can be released to a particular site at a at a particular time interval. Okay, say for example, in those days we used to take handful of tablets or medicine. Okay, so one in the morning, one in the at 11 o'clock, and one at the lunchtime, one at the evening, and But nowadays you have the different medicines are clubbed together. Okay, so this is because those drugs are called time released. Okay, so once you take up one tablet, the first one gets hydrolyzed instantaneously, you get released in the first, and then the second takes little more time for hydrolysis and then gets released second, and then one which is hydrolyzed at the last stage can be released at the maybe in the lunch. So if you take just one tablet, it gets used throughout the day. Okay, so it's called sustained release tablets. Okay, so for which the polymers are very much helpful. Okay, not only that, polymers are very much useful in spacecrafts, and they are called as composite material, nano composite material, fiber reinforced composite material. They are as equal to or more than steel. Okay, which has a very high thermal resistance, which has very high load bearing capacity. So polymers can be used in all the fields. Okay, the very big disadvantage of polymer is its non-biodegradability. Natural polymers are degradable. Once it is buried in the soil, it gets decomposed and mixed with the soil. Whereas artificial or synthetic polymers, after its lifetime, it never decomposes for a very long period of time. It takes several years, several hundred years for a decomposition. So this makes this polymer unfriendly to the soil. Okay, so they are called non-biodegradable materials. This contaminate the soil, and burning of the plastic is another hazard to the environment. When you burn these plastics, it releases enormous amount of carbon monoxide, dioxide, sulfur oxide, dioxin, and they are very much toxic to the human being. Okay, so I hope that you have got a brief idea about polymer science or macromolecule. Okay, so in this session we have discussed the definition of macromolecule, big molecule or a giant molecule, or a polymer formed by repeated linkage of small molecules. Okay, we have understood what is meant by a repeating unit, what is meant by degree of polymerization. Okay, and then we have understood the classification based on the origin, based on the thermal response, based on the composition, and based on the arrangement of chains. Okay, so maybe you will have, it is not like direct interaction in the like we have in the usual days. During this pandemic days, we make this stopgap arrangement for your uninterrupted learning. So, and hence I request you to make use of this classroom, attend the classrooms regularly, and whenever you have doubts, you can post your questions in the Google Classroom site. Okay, so I will be interacting with you in the Google Classroom and try to clarify all the doubts. Okay, and for this macromolecules or polymer science, you can refer two important books. One is called Gavarigar, Macromolecules by Gavarigar, and number two by Bill Mayer. Okay, so these two books will help you help you to understand the subject in a better way. Almost the entire syllabus is kept in the Gavarigar. Okay, so you can download a soft copy of this book or have your own copy of Gavarigar for ready reference. Okay, and you can keep the book with you during the classroom so that you can understand the classroom. You need not take notes, but you can just observe the classroom. Then you can refer the book later and post your questions in the Google Classroom. Thank you very much. See you in the next session.